hear me as well. But yeah, it seems like it's just playing up, which is really, really frustrating. It's saying excellent connection now, so hopefully it keeps up. So yeah, apologies for any drop off in quality. It's not been very good last few streams, but we'll press ahead as best we can. Yeah, shout out everyone to your scores. Put them in the chat. We have got New South Wales Origin team news, so we can definitely discuss that. I won't go through the whole game by game. I'm feeling quite tired actually, and I've got a bit of a trip to do this week for work actually. So just in terms of the video, this week I don't think it'll be out until Wednesday, and I won't be doing a live stream on Tuesday. I won't actually be even in Sydney with my setup, so won't be posting any content until Wednesday, I think, for this week. So we'll definitely discuss some early thoughts for this week. So yeah, a few good scores I can see. I can see a couple of people in the 1200s, a few in the 1150s. I think 1150 is around par, and if you got 1200 plus, I think you've had a good week. I've scored 1193. Got carried in the end by Dylan Brown and Lomax, my heroes. I was going to write them a poem, but then I just actually finished dinner and I had to start the stream. So I haven't got a poem yet. Might post something a little bit later. But no, Dylan Brown and Lomax definitely are deserving of a poem. But I think given the internet's good at the moment, let's just press ahead and no need to dilly-dally. So I've got the New South Wales I've got the New South Wales team up on screen. So it's pretty much exactly what the expected team was, if you guys had seen that already. So no real surprises here. I mean, the main ones, I guess, is centers. So you've got Stephen Crichton and Tony Staggs as the centers. No Campbell Graham. I know someone in the chat, Zach, said no Graham. I thought Graham was going to be an option because he was amongst the squad last season. I think Tony's just played quite well defensively, mainly. So yeah, playing well in defense, I think, is why Staggs has probably been picked, I would imagine. And also we know that his attack is amazing as well, but his defense has been really good to begin the season, which is why I think he has been picked. And Stephen Crichton, I guess, is another combination pick there. And Daniel Tupou's back, which is a bit surprising, dropping in for Adokar, which I thought, I didn't really see the reason for that. Maybe it's because Adokar was out with a flu, but I don't know. He decided to bring back Tupou, so that does kill a few people's round 13 bye week. Because I know because I know a few people did have Tupou there. Yeah, Joseph Swiley is in the extended squad. So I think, let me just count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's a 22-man squad, something like that. So obviously there will be some players who get cut from that, and it's really only the players who will miss round 13. I'm not actually sure what the rule is around guys in the extended squad who, if they're available to play in round 13, because they might not actually form the final 18 or 19. So Swiley, I feel like, is there just to be amongst the squad and the camp because he's going to be there eventually, I'd say, with his talent. But it remains to be seen, I think, whether he's actually available for round 13. If he's not, it's kind of a killer. Other guys like Coruscant, I know a few people may be looking at him. Now, it's probably the main positions I think to really kind of think about are the edges. So Cam Murray's locked one edge, that's for sure. So the other starting edge is probably either going to be Sims or Liam Martin. Now, I think Sims will start just because he started last season, and Freddie generally is fairly loyal. Liam Martin's been fine. Sims has been fine as well, but I think Sims will just get the start there. So Liam Martin could stay on the bench, but the bench could be one of the props like Campbell Gillard. Madison, I think, will be there. So again, Madison, if you were looking at Madison for round 17 coverage, if he continues to perform during Origin, he probably will get picked in game 3 as well, you'd imagine. So he is not really one for immediate buy coverage that we need to worry about, but more for in the future. And someone's saying drop Sims. I think Sims has been fine, and he showed last season, actually. I remember he threw that offload for one of his tries, so he did validate, I think, his selection overall. So I think it's a bit of a thing of, mixing up the loyalty plus also rewarding players who are on form. So Hines, for example, named on the bench. They probably, well, not named on the bench, but I expect it's going to be him or Whiten to play the number 14 spot. I would probably lean towards Hines just for the more recent form, although Whiten has been pretty good as well. Other than that, there's not really that many surprises. I think it'll just be interesting to see what the kind of cuts are. And I'm not actually quite sure what the rules are around, whether they're available for round 13. Looking at Swiley, he's definitely going to be a big one. Tupou for a few people, maybe a Coruscant, maybe a Crichton. I know a few people, I think even in the Podmasters, have Stephen Crichton as well. And yes, Staggs. Look, Staggs was not going to play next week anyway, but it's something maybe you have to think about for round 17. So in terms of the guys who didn't get selected, I can see Zach said Angus Crichton. Yep, massive. Angus Crichton. I thought he was going to be selected. So he's not. So I think he's going to become a fantastic option to trade in this week, essentially. Him moving back to the left has coincided with some really good scores as well. The Roosters are now looking a lot better. I think it seems as though they were kind of maybe playing around with different combinations and things, but it seems like they've gone back back on the left. Teddy's looking a lot better. Teddy's been good for quite a few weeks as it is, and dropped a massive score as to why he's in the thumbnail for this stream. And so Crichton is definitely going to be a big buy, I think, for this week. A few other guys that maybe you can consider. I can't really think of too many off the top of my head. I mean, Tohu Harris was one that we were looking at potentially, but he also didn't do so well, and he also looked like he picked up a bit of a knock. Shout out to McInnes, Zach, 100%. What a man, brought him in this week. So, yeah, I think there's not really too much more to discuss for this. I think once we get, I'll try to do some digging into what the rules are and eligibility is around, if they're selected in the squad, are they available for round 13? I'm sure we'll find that out. Maybe Teamless Tuesday gets that information out, but I think we can't really see or think about it too much more. But yeah, look, the team's there. We'll get the Queensland team tomorrow. I guess we may as well just talk about the Queensland team for a little bit. So it seems as though Cotter is going to play Origin. It seems like the expected squad for New South Wales is basically what it is, the actual squad. So I feel like the Queensland one is going to be similar. So it does seem like Cotter is going to play Origin. For anyone who's using him as buy coverage, he won't be there, but I don't think it matters too much. He absolutely smashed it again this week, 70-something points, all in base, so he's probably a season keeper. So I don't think you need to worry about it too much, but it is a bit of a hit to your numbers for the bye week. Who is the best centre wing option right now? Yeah, so I'm happy to have the stream be a bit more like questions. You guys can talk about the different topics. We don't need to go game by game, so I'm quite happy to do that. So the best centre wing option, I mean, look, it's like Garrick still did quite good. I think Joey Manu is going to be right up there though. Like the way the Roosters are playing. Someone saying Cobbo will debut. Yeah, I really like Manu Chazza. I don't know best, because you can bring in guys like Ewan Aitken down there, who's been very solid, scored another 66 points, all in base. But in terms of a genuine centre wing, I think Garrick was encouraging that he scored 67 points, I think it was, when Manly only scored 8 points. Now, he did get the try assist, which obviously helped. So he gets the try assist and the line break assist. That's an extra 20 points. But even if you take that out, 47 points, if he did absolutely nothing, base power and, goal kicking, which I think he even missed his goal kick. So, add those back and you're looking at a pretty solid score. So I think at fullback, he's probably going to have a lower floor. Probably not going to get those 100 plus scores that he was playing on the wing, but I think he's going to have a much better floor playing at fullback. So I don't mind getting Garrick, although, obviously low scoring against Melbourne, but Melbourne were up for it. I think Jerome Hughes really helped them, coming back. Lomax, is he a buy now? Well, obviously not this week because of the bye week. But yeah, look, I'm very happy with Lomax. I referenced it already at the beginning of the stream. Really happy with that. So he had the try assist, had the try as well. So really nice big score from him. Draw for the Dragons is not too bad, actually, when you look at it. Moving ahead. We're already forgetting about round 13. We'll have a look at round 17. Now, the Cowboys in round 14 is tough, but they will obviously have some of their Origin players coming back, so they might not be quite ready. I still think it's a tough match. They're playing away from home, the Dragons. Rabbitohs can still concede points. Then it's the Raiders, and then it's the Broncos who will miss their Origin players, and then Roosters again. So the draw is it's okay. It's not fantastic, but it's fine. And Lomax is really solid. So no, I do obviously think Lomax is a good purchase for this week. Well, not for this week, sorry. Maybe later in round 14. But I feel like even in round 14, you can maybe avoid it. Maybe you can get him in round 15, because I do think that the 14 matchup is pretty tough. Brimo is a solid round 13 pod. Okay, so Clone, I'm going to guess you're looking at Brimson, AJ Brimson. Yeah, I mean, the Titans, we were just jumping on the Titans all over the shop, weren't they? Like, first half, great. Second half, just absolutely, tanked it, which I think it just kind of comes down to the fact that their spine is very inexperienced. The captain Tino, he called for that short kickoff when they really didn't need to, and that kind of swung the game back to the Broncos' favour. So I think they're just really inconsistent due to their inexperienced spine. So, look, 72 points. I can't remember what he's done recently. What has he scored recently? Let's have a quick look. I mean, the 3-round average of 50 is still not great. I mean, I owned Brimson not last year, the year before, when he had a really good run. So he has been good to me in the past. But those scores don't really thrill me. So I feel like you're buying him just for the sake of a round 13 number. And even then, the draw, the Cowboys will be tough in round 13 still, I think, even despite losing some of their Origin stars. You do have the Knights and the Broncos coming up later, but I don't know. It doesn't really thrill me, I think, going with Brimson. Like, you're happy to take that pod, obviously, but it doesn't really... I don't think those were the best pods. Moz saying McInnes and Butcher made your week. Yep, McInnes was very solid. I mean, I bought McInnes this week thinking he'd just be the solid plotter option. Then he goes and scores a try and gets 2 line breaks. I'm like, sweet, 96 points. I'll absolutely take that. So really happy with McInnes. Obviously he doesn't play this week, but he's not going to play Origin, you'd think, unless there's maybe injuries elsewhere in the team. So should be a nice round 17 option, super solid. So yeah, I was very happy with buying McInnes this week and that outcome. That definitely paid off for me. And then yeah, the Roosters, Nat Butcher scored a try, which did boost up his score. But yeah, if you paid $350k for Nat Butcher a couple of weeks ago, you're laughing. He scored 69 points and then 82. Really good. And the Roosters are looking a lot better. They looked really good this game as well. Aman, I bought McInnes because of you. Shout out to you. No, that's all up to you. Look, I give the advice, but at the end of the day, you're the ones who have to press the buttons and bring in the guys. So, look, it's obviously nice that my advice helped you out. And look, a bit of element of luck. He scored the try. Who was it? Someone fell for his dummy. I can't remember. I think it was Angus Crichton fell for his dummy. I'm like, McInnes surely doesn't have a great dummy. So we got a bit lucky there, you'd say. But look, I'll take the good luck when it comes because there's enough bad luck floating around this game. I'll take it whenever it comes for sure. Lyle 1191 with a 1.3k rank. I think that would be a green arrow. I think you might actually maybe just outside the top 1,000 with that score. I do think 1150 is par, and I think if you're getting close to 1,200, you've had a good week. So I was happy with my week in the end. Lomax and Dylan Brown at the end of the day really helped me out there. 1269 from Cameron, that's a big score. Yeah, the scores are generally a bit lower because I think majority of people captained Cleary or Hines, who went a bit low. Cleary got 58, Hines 51 points I think he got in updates. So yeah, a bit of a lower scoring week. Anyone who's owned Tedesco, I mean, just speaking about Tedesco now that we've got the score up on the screen. Yeah, look, I regret selling Tedesco those weeks ago when it funded Cleary, which was obviously nice to get Cleary in. But if I could have found another way, in hindsight, it would have been good because Taff I've sold now, who I kind of got in as that cheapie for Teddy, and Teddy's just absolutely smashed it. He's looking back, he's looked good the last few weeks, and the effort was there the whole time. I was just a bit off the Roosters, and then they've just turned it around. So you'd be very happy with Teddy. The Roosters draw is still tough, but I think they've shown enough form now that you can maybe ride through it. And there's just no one really else at fullback. I think the only reason you would sell him is probably for Pappy. If Pappenhausen comes back and say around 15, Teddy's getting rest through Origin, then you'd probably sell. But otherwise, probably holding, right? And probably holding and very happily holding as well. You traded Grant to Coruscant. Yeah, so Coruscant, I mean, look, I've never really been a big fan of Coruscant, at least this season. I know there was that season a couple of seasons ago where he was pretty consistent. He generally has been inconsistent, but he has got a couple of good scores. So I will hold up my hands there and say, maybe he is worth a trade in, and I've been a bit negative on him. Although at least I recommended McInnes over Coruscant, and he outscored him this week, so I'll take that one. But look, Coruscant, with the Origin squad, I don't think he'd be in the 17. He probably would be maybe the 18th or 19th man. I think it was 18th man last season. So again, we need to see what that does in terms of SuperCoach selections and whether they're eligible to play round 13. How many minutes did McInnes get? Yeah, so I didn't watch every single game in full. I've just seen the scores, and I've seen mostly either the games or the extended highlights. But I'll quickly check his minutes for you, because that's generally the most important thing you want to be looking at with someone like in the forwards. So McInnes played 53 minutes. So the minutes are not as high as I was expecting, actually. I was thinking he'd get up to 60, 65, but the last couple of weeks he has gone low 50s. So not the best sign, but they're not even going to really lose any forwards to Origin either. So don't really see his minutes changing that much. But look, even in 53 minutes, he can still pump out 60 points. So I'm happy with that. And I bought him out for low 500k. So I think I'm happy with that kind of output. Ricky only plays Starling for 20 minutes. He's not worth it. Yeah, let's just quickly touch on the Raiders game now that I've seen that comment. This is why I do not buy Canberra forwards. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So a few people would be very frustrated with Tom Starling this week. I heard the whisper on his stream earlier thinking about even just selling him this week or selling him around 14. Yeah, very, very frustrating. I think this week you kind of have to hold. Just any points you'll take it this week. And then, round 14, flick him. Because the minutes rotation is just ridiculous. I think Wolford played 26 minutes last week, and I think this week he played a bunch more. Gonna have a quick look at the minutes actually. Wolford played 56 minutes. He went from 26 minutes up to 56. Adam Elliott 43. Tom Starling 25 minutes. Like, the minutes are just all over the shop. I can't do it. This is why I never buy Ricky's forwards. I think Joseph Tapine is probably the best option. He seems to be punching out the most consistent numbers. Even then, I'm still scared. So yeah, I just don't go there at all. And I just kind of sleep a little bit easier at night time. Not going with Ricky's forwards. Ricky Roulette, as we call it every week. Ricky Roulette. So no, I wouldn't be selling Jai this week. I think just for the buy round, you just keep it. But yeah, round 14, sell him. Stephen Crichton to Angus Crichton. I like the Crichton to Crichton switch. No, I think that's a really solid move. I think Angus Crichton will be one of the most bought players this week. Recent good form, good scores. Will cover round 13. And look, he can always be a factor to play Origin, but that doesn't matter for this one because we'll get him for round 13. If he misses round 17, the Roosters have a bye that week anyway. And look, we know he's a gun. So yeah, really, I don't mind that move. RL season, rugby league season, I'm going to guess that means. Any Warriors players worth the trade other than Valea? Do you even trade in Valea though? This is an interesting one. He has gone good recently. Of course, I didn't play him. I've been too scarred by the low scores previously, but he had a break even of 8. Now he's gone 60 and 55. So he will make some money. Now, they do have Manly, then the Sharks, and the Panthers, Tigers, and then the bye. I don't think if I didn't have Valea, I don't think I'd be buying, in my opinion. Because you're going to buy him, and then you're probably going to want to sell him before round 17 anyway. Because I don't think that draw's that good, and the Warriors are just very inconsistent. And like, I know he's done well the past couple of weeks, but that's 2 good weeks out of a 16, 34, 32, where he did score tries, by the way, then 14. So no, I would not be buying him. I'm happy he's gone good the last couple of weeks. It just means I can make some money out of him, but he's gone as soon as I can upgrade him to a nice round 17 player. So yeah, the only other Warriors players I think about maybe is like Tohu. But even Tohu, like, he picked up that bit of a knock, only 50 points. Just going to quickly check the minutes as well for Tohu. Like, Jazz Tavanga, I know a few people were looking at, but I'm completely off. I was never really into Tavanga, to be honest. Only 41 points. So I'm just looking at the minutes here. So Tohu played 80 minutes. So he played the full 80. But then he did pick up that bit of a knock. So that's probably why his score's a little bit lower. Look, Ewan Aiken, I think, actually feasibly could be a buy this week if you don't have him. Because the thing with Aiken is, he's so solid. 66 points, all in base. He's locked in for 80 minutes every week. And he's dual flexible. Like, you can feasibly keep him, I think, in your center wing for the rest of the season. Like, I think if we filtered center wings by average, I reckon he's right up there. I'm just going to quickly do that, actually, now that I've said that. Just going to have a quick look at it, because if he's in the top 8 center wing, or top 7, he's worth being in your top 7 center wings, right? So let's see. So you won't really count Russell or Karaz. So you've got Taylor May, Talakai, Mulatalo. You won't count Ikavalu. So you have Manu, Gagai, Garrick, Graham, Targo, Aitken. So he's kind of in that top 10 to 9-ish, which I think is pretty good. You know, you can lock him in your center wing. He'll average around 60 points, which, look, you'll take that in your center wing, you know, almost every week. So yeah, I think Ewan Aiken, if you don't own, still could be a purchase because of the nice dual flexibility. You can lock him in your center wing. Yeah, I can see Zach saying Taff to Aiken. I don't mind that. And the thing is, Aiken is still relatively highly owned. What is he? He's 19% owned, so it's not super high, but it's enough of an ownership where if he does well, it will hurt you a little bit. So I don't mind bringing in Aiken, actually. And I think because you can keep him for the longer term. I don't necessarily like buying guys who you might want to trade out again. Like, someone's asked about SJ for round 13. Nah, he's not passing the eye test for me. The drop passes, kicks going out in the full, just it's not really thrilling me. And like, I look at him and think he's an immediate trade in, trade out. Unless you've got the trades to play with. Like, I'm on 19 trades, so I'm quite low at the moment. Like, I just don't think it's worth a trade. Now, someone's asking about Isaiah Yeo for Angus Crichton. I kind of like this format. You guys are asking the questions and we kind of bounce around the games this way. Let me know if you guys like it. I'm enjoying myself. Yeah, so this is a good question because I also own Isaiah Yeo. And coming into this week, I was probably okay with selling him for a like a round 13 option, like a Tohu, maybe an Olukwatu. We haven't really talked about. Olukwatu looked good again. 70 points in base power, and has seemed to be doing better without Turbo. Cherry Evans likes to use him a bit more. So trading at Yo, like, I know he scored a try, and which obviously included the line break, so that's an extra 30 points. So you take that out, you would have scored 53. But I don't know. He passes the eye test, doesn't he? He's. I think this is the best form I've seen Isaiah Yeo in. And the problem with the Panthers is that they're in such a luxurious position, like on the ladder, and they've got such a good team with such good depth. They can afford to rest their gun players. So it won't surprise me if he gets a rest over this period. Either like misses a full game, or he just gets his minutes managed where, plays like 60 minutes and then they're winning the game and they just say, all right, let me just take him off. So I'm going to have a quick look at what happened last season with Yeo. Just on NRL SuperCoach Stats. Actually, I can pull this up for you guys as well. So we'll have a look-see here. So Isaiah Yeo, this is 2021. So you can see round 13, he played Origin, obviously. He missed round 13. Then he missed round 14. So he got a complete rest in round 14. Then he played 15-16, where he played 74-69 minutes. Then he missed round 17 with Origin, played the next 2 games after that, but again, the minutes were a little bit lower in one of the games, and then missed 20, which I'm going to guess was an injury. So you would look at that and think that he's probably going to miss at least 1 game and might get his minutes managed. So I think in terms of doing the trade, it really has to come down to, in the extra game, the guy you're bringing in, is he going to out-average him or outscore him? Justify doing it. Now, trading out Yeo for Angus, I think Yeo is a season keeper the way that he's going. He's really passing the eye test for me. He's getting attacking stats, which he generally doesn't. So, for example, he put in, I think it was not this week, it was last week, he put someone through a hole to set up, I think it was Sorensen. He did a little in and away, a little nice short ball. So, eye test wise, he's looking really good. So, if I can, I'm going to try to hold on to him and try to trade out other guys like Josh King. I reckon I'm ready to sell for a round 13 option. Hopefully, I can flip him to Angus. That'll be the way I'll do it. So, I think as much as I can, I'll try to hold these guys because they're looking so good. Average of 65 all season. I would consider that season keeper. So, if he's your only way to get to someone like Angus, then fine, because Angus is also equally a season keeper. But, yeah, I think if you can, I'll try to hold on to him. Sorry, I know we got into a bit of a long tangent there, but hopefully that did help answer your question. Let's see, a few questions coming in. Tass to the Hammer. Yeah, I mean, look, the Cowboys were pretty... I want to say they're poor. The Panthers are just too good. So, even, the Hammer, Drinkwater, I still don't mind going for them this week because they do have a good run coming up. They've got the Titans in round 13. So, someone like Drinkwater, Hammer could be high upside guys. So, no, I don't mind going for the Hammer. He's really cheap, isn't he? He is, and with the felt injury, of course, he's locked into the wing spot. 283k. He had a break even of 55, so he's going to be dirt cheap. I don't mind going for Hammer just because of the price. And that it's a low risk, going at that price to get him. Are we thinking Tui Pelotu is a hold after 14 with no turbo? It's a good question. They do have a tough run. So if I look at, say, let me just bring up their draw. So they've got the Warriors in 13, which is great. Then it's the Tigers in 14. So I think you can hold for that. Then when it goes Cowboys, Melbourne, bye, then I think you can probably sell him at that point. So yeah, I'd probably hold off until maybe round 15 for Tui Pelotu. Gives you some time to reassess as well. Come on, boys, run the likes for the brother. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys enjoying the stream, give it a like as well. And yeah, I haven't seen really the comments, but if you guys like this format, I like it. Answer some more questions. I don't need to go through game by game. It's all retrospective stuff. We want to all think about moving forward. Tui Pelotu to Graham. Yeah, Campbell Graham obviously looks like he's not even going to be amongst the Origin squad. Rabbitohs still have a good draw, and he absolutely killed it. Last week. Oh, well, yesterday. So yeah, it could be an option. Thoughts on Milne? What did Milne even score? It seems as if the Rabbitohs were going straight back to their left side attacking best. So Milne only scored 25 points. He is low base, so no, I don't really like going for Milne. Alex Johnson, Cody Walker is throwback to 2021, the left side doing well. I'm so happy that Dylan Brown did well because I sold Cody 2 weeks ago and my gut was thinking sell him over Dylan Brown. Since then, Walker has outscored him. I'm just happy that Dylan Brown did well this week though, but it kind of annoyed me that Cody Walker did still do good. So that's my own little personal tragedy there. But no, look, if you own Cody, fantastic. He was going a bit quiet, but then at the end, obviously, he exploded. Got one of the try assists from Graham, which bumped up his score, I think, from 80. So, yeah, a lot of the Raptors players doing well, but a lot of them will go away in Origin duty. So, like your Damon Cook, Cam Murray. Shout out to Havili. I think it was a few weeks ago I said he's a cheeky cheapie. I was never going to go there. But look, he actually played really well and he scored a try and scored 93 points. So, if there's anyone out there who bought Havili on my advice, please let me know, and I will forever hold that to you as taking my advice too seriously, because I don't really think he was a genuine option. But look, he did well this week. Who my trade's going to be this week? Yeah, I'll quickly take a look at my team. So I haven't really I've still got 2 boosts. So for anyone who's not sure, for round 13, so in the bye week, so also round 13 and then round 17, you can use 3 trades without a boost. So normally it's 2 per week. This week you can go to 3. And then if you use a boost, you can actually get up to 4 trades. Now, I'm not sure if I'll be able to use the boost. I think it's hard to say at the moment. Early thoughts, I think I'll take out Josh King for Angus if I can. So I've got 178k. Josh King is going to go down in price a little bit. Angus is going to go up, I think, a bit as well, isn't he? So which I'm not sure if I'd be able to do a straight swap. He was 540k with a 65 break even. So I should be able to afford Josh King to Angus in one move, which is going to be nice. So I think I'm going to do that, probably. That's one move. Now, in terms of getting another round 13 option, I can maybe go Olaquatu. If I really want, I could sell like a Nazeo to like an Olaquatu maybe. Like in terms of numbers, so say for example, we look at my numbers right now. I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 including Sawali, who we're not even sure about. So let's assume that I bring in Crichton, so that gets me up to 11. So I might do one more trade to bring in someone else, so I might get to 12, but I might just leave it at that. So I might do 2 trades, might do 3 trades, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure yet, Zach, what my moves are going to be. I don't think Kraz is going to get dropped. No, I think he's looked pretty good in real life, so I don't think he'll get dropped. But yeah, trades-wise, I'm not 100% sure what I'll do yet. If I've got funds, maybe swap like an Isaiah Tasvai deals to maybe if there's a cheap second row forward who comes out. It would be nice to get Butcher, but I feel like I've kind of missed that boat as well. But yeah, that's my early thoughts at the moment. Is Tamalolo a sell with the big break-even? Nah, definitely not. I think if he's going to play, if he's available round 13, you keep him and then sell him round 14 and just cop the price drop. If he misses round 13, sell him for Angus. That's my general advice. Wouldn't be selling him this particular week though if he's named. Is Fisher Harris worth bringing in? Now, Fisher Harris is kind of a darling for the Origin period because he's a Kiwi. Fisher Harris, I just don't feel like isn't that good of a Supercoach option. So I don't really think it's worth it because, again, I don't view him as a season keeper. He also does get his minutes managed towards the back end of the season. Now, I know this from personal experience because I owned Fisher Harris for not last season, the year before, and it was really painful owning him. Like, he's a fantastic real-life option. It just doesn't translate. Like, if I look at his scores here, I can't remember what he's actually scored this week. Sorry, let me flick back and see what he scored this week. Sorry, I'm jumping around. Let's see here, Penrith. He scored 61 points, so I don't think he didn't score a try, so he scored 61 points. So he's gone 61 and then 87 last week, but before that, all of his scores were like kind of 40s and 50s. So no, I don't think it's worth bringing in Fisher Harris. Is now the time to use a boost for trades if you have one left. If you have one left and you're fine for numbers, I would hold off on it because you can use that for round 17. The beauty of having the round 17 bye week being better, in my opinion, overall, is just because you can bring in guys for round 17 and then there's no need to have to trade them out again. You can have them for the rest of the season. Round 13 is a bit more awkward in the sense that you might bring in a guy to cover that week, but then you might have to flip them later to another round 17 guy, so using an extra trade. So I don't mind having a boost up your sleeve if you've got okay numbers for this week that you can use to flip to guys for round 17. So I feel like you can avoid it. That would be my general advice, Sticky Nicky. I'm not too keen on Fisher Harris. I don't think it's worth selling Max King to Butcher or Crichton Isaac. I think Max King did pretty good this week, scoring 56 points. If he does similar to that, 45, 50 points in the bye week, you take it. And I think, try to find other ways to get, to the likes of an Angus or a Butcher. Thoughts on selling Kolomatangi? Yeah, Kolomatangi's been a bit quiet, hasn't he? I feel like they've started to go back to the left side a bit more. It seemed as though the right side was, becoming a bit more predominant early in the season, but now it seems like they're slightly going back to their left. He does need attacking stats. He doesn't have good base. He doesn't cover this week. Look, I think he's a perfect swap to Angus Crichton if you don't have Angus. So yeah, I think swap Kolomatangi, and I think you can be pretty confident, I think, in that trade. So we're going for like 33 minutes. We'll go for like another 10-ish minutes, guys. I've quite enjoyed this format, just going through questions. Don't really need to go through every game. But actually, you know what? Let's quickly shout out. Let's go to the Parramatta Eels game. I need to give a quick shout out to my boy, Dylan Brown. What a legend. 105 points. I was messaging the Whisperer and I said, I need to get like 100 from Dylan Brown to win my head-to-head and just to save my week. 105 points later. What a man. What a man. I think he had like 2-3 line breaks, 2 tries. What a man. That's what I'm going to say. IPAP is a bit of a concern in the sense that he played middle, but look, 66 points. It's pretty solid. And Madison, look, Origin squad. But, yeah. Very, very solid PPM. I was planning on bringing in Drinky, but not liking that score of 12. What do you think? Yeah, this is an interesting one because he will have a really high break even now coming into round 13. I still think he would be an okay buy. Like, he'll obviously go down a bit in price. I'm not sure how much. But, like, I wouldn't read too much into it. Like, the Panthers are, honestly, they're so good. It's ridiculous. I feel like they're even better than, like, the last couple of seasons. And then the thing is, their draw is really good. Titans, Dragons, Manly without Turbo, Broncos, then the bye. Like, for me, I think Drinkwater is a great purchase if you can do it and not have to burn through too many trades. So I still think Drinkwater is okay to buy this week because he's got high upside, as we've seen so far this season. Is Pangai a trade? No, I don't think. I wouldn't answer that until I know Teamless Tuesday. If he's not named, then yes, sell him for Angus. If he's named, then keep him. That's just my general advice. Thoughts on Laurie as a pod? Yeah, it's hard to talk about these guys when they're not going to play this week. We can maybe have a bit more of a thought about them in round 14 when they will play again. But yeah, we know he was a good option last season for periods of time. He was a nice cheapie for us. Average of 41 though. He hasn't really hit the heights. So yeah, like that was his first score over 55 all season. So I would just chill out a little bit with Laurie. No need to worry about him too much. Who do we sell Taff to? Taff is a weird one, eh? I'm happy I sold Taff after that benching. So yeah, 12 points. He's going to lose cash. There's really not that many options at a price. Like maybe Toby Sexton from the Titans. They cover around 13, and he actually has done quite decently the last couple of weeks. Maybe a Sexton. Yeah, I can see someone in the chat saying Ezra Mam. Yeah, Ezra Mam's gone really big the last couple of weeks, and if he does play again, then he's going to make a lot of cash. And it just really depends if is he going to stay there, and is he going to out Tyson Gamble, because Reynolds is coming straight back in. So it's really between Mam and Gamble. I feel like Gamble's just going to stay there. He hasn't really done too much wrong. Pori, you were with Laurie and Roberts at the Argyle last night, mate. Did you tell them that we were looking? Someone's asking about them for SuperCoach, because tell them to pump up their game. Well, that would have been fun. I was out in the city last night as well. I was watching Vivid. I like that. Taff to Avarillo. Yeah, look, Avarillo did well today. Scored a double. Very annoyingly though, he got that double at the expense of Karaz, who was just a passenger. Like I missed part of the game, and then I saw that Burton was lining up a sideline conversion, and I thought, oh beauty, Karaz has scored, and it was Avarillo. Okay, so I've just got a bit of a thing where the smooth streaming is coming in. Okay, so it might be getting a bit of a glitch in the stream. Video died. All right. Yeah, you guys let me know if that's going on. We've gone to about 38 minutes. I'll go for another 5-ish minutes anyway. I'm not going for too much longer. I've got a busy week ahead. Got to sleep soon, I think. I'm really tired. So yeah, we'll see how the stream's going. If the stream is not holding up, I will probably end it just there as well. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that little summary. Good now. Okay, cool. Yeah, so maybe we'll do a few more minutes of questions, and then I think we might leave it there. I think someone said, should you sell Dylan Brown for Munster? No way. I think Dylan Brown's a keeper. Dylan Brown's a keeper in my opinion. He's averaging 70 and he's just gone 100. Nah, Dylan Brown for me is keep solid base. Get him and Munster like me. That's what I'm doing. But look, I'm a bit biased, so take that with a pinch of salt. Is Stags a sell for who? Yeah, I do think Stags is a sell. I think if you've got the duel, someone like Crichton, maybe a Butcher, if you want to beef up your second row forward. If you're just going for your centre wing, I don't even mind going for Aiken, honestly. Aiken seems pretty solid in your centre wing to go for. Manu, top trade-in target, I think, for this week as well. Stags to Manu, yep. Is he a must? I don't really like using must. There's only a few players I consider a must, in my opinion. Like a fit Pappenhausen is a must, in my opinion, because that Storm team is just ridiculous. Cleary, I'd say is a must. Harry Grant, I'd say is a must. Munster's probably a must as well. There's only really a few players, but I don't think Manu's in that category, but he's a very, very good option. Thoughts on Fafita if he's not on Origin? Yeah, look, Fafita came off the bench. If Fafita's still coming off the bench, it doesn't interest me. But I feel like Fafita's still going to go to Origin though, isn't he? I feel like he's still going to get a spot on the bench. So hold that thought, Gazaraki. We'll address that later this week once we know the Queensland squad. I feel like he will play Origin though. Although I'm a New South Wales fan. I feel like Murray pocketed him last series. Hines is a must. Yeah, you'd probably say Hines is a must. Although I saw someone earlier in the chat saying, do you sell Hines for like Pappenhausen? No way. Hines is not a sell. You have Hines, you keep him for the rest of the season unless he gets injured. I think he's shown enough that we can justify that. You have Jermaine Turnbull-Brown is enough. He is playing if named for the bye. Oh, if he's playing, you hold him. I think Jai. If Jermaine Turnbull-Brown is playing in the bye week, you just hold him. I think. No Fafita on Origin. Yeah, we'll wait and see on that. I guess the bench. Yeah, they said it looks like Nanai could actually be taking that bench edge spot though. It seems like that Nanai is going to get that spot. So yeah, there might not be any Fafita. Look, Fafita is always an option, but like it was very frustrating owning him earlier this season. So yeah, we'll think about it. But look, he showed exactly what he can do. Right, he tapped the ball from dummy half and just went and scored a big try. 70 points. This is the problem. We just know how good he is, right? We just know how good he is. Is Campbell Graham set to be on that left side for the rest of the season? I honestly can't tell you that. Bailey, it's really up to the Rabbitohs and what they do, but because they had him at the right, I'm just wondering if there's anything in their team injury-wise that changed that. Like, I always thought he was going to play left centre, so it was a bit surprising when he didn't. Like, I thought he was going to fill the void of Gagai. Jackson Paulo did quite well, so yeah, I think for the foreseeable future, yeah, he probably will be on the left, which means I think he has a better option on the left-hand side. What are we doing with Haas? Yeah, look, Haas, obviously only 62 points, which is fine. If you've got Haas, I'm just going to hold him, I think. He's one of those guys that eventually I'm going to want to have, so I just don't feel like, especially at front row forward, like, who am I going to sell him to? That's the thing. Maybe if you have duels, you can sell to Angus, but even then, I still feel like it's not worth it. He's one of those guys who I just know I want to have for the rest of the season, or like I want to have at the end of the season. I don't see the point in burning the trades to take him out and bring him back in. I'd rather fix other issues, like get rid of those middling guys, like maybe a Josh King, maybe those kind of mid-range centre wings like Tass, Tui Pelotu, Cooler, Valea. These are all guys I want to get rid of, who I think are more important to use my trades on than like a Payne Haas. Will you have 17 players for this week? No, I'll definitely not have 17. I reckon I'm going to have 11 to 12. 11 to 12, I reckon. And then I think 17. Am I looking for 17? I haven't even checked 17 yet. Because that's important. It's fine to focus on round 13. But you also want to make sure that you're okay for round 17. So round 17, I'll have 1, 2... And when I count, I'm excluding Origin guys. Leah Thompson, I'm not even going to count either. I'm not even sure if he'll be in the team. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, maybe 6 or 7 for round 17. So yeah, a bit light on the round 17 numbers. So probably we'll need to start bringing in guys soon. So I might not try to go too hard on round 13, but yeah, we'll play that as we go. We'll see how we go. Who will be kicking for Penrith? Good question. Can Sean O'Sullivan goal kick? Maybe. Solhas to Clemmer. Yeah, Clemmer has been pretty solid. I think he's got 65 points this week. He's been doing pretty well. Manu for Cobbo. Yeah, that feels nice. Although Cobbo is in hot form. Scored another try, 65 points. Dylan Edwards. I didn't know Dylan Edwards could goal kick. That's news to me. I've never seen that though. No, Crichton won't for Penrith Pori because he's going to play Origin. That's why we're trying to think about who's going to be the goal kicker. Cold Penasini. Yeah, he went off for the HRA. I wonder what did he end up scoring? He scored that try as well, didn't he? 44. I think if you're good for round 17, you probably could hold him. He's been really good recently. Average of 55 in your centre wings, pretty solid. Gazaraki makes a good point. Don't sell Cobbo until that 130 rolls out of his average. Yeah, you probably want to maximise how much cash you can get out of him. Are you expecting green arrows? I am, yeah. So I scored 1,193, which I think this week, getting around 1,200 is good. And at my rank, I'm like just outside 11k. So I should hopefully get to the top 10k after this week. Alright, so I think we're going to take one more question from Jonah. Who are the must-haves for round 13? So I'll take this as the last question because I think that'll be obviously the biggest talking point for this week will be round 13 and who should we expect or who do we want to have. So at hooker, there's really not much. You know, I don't really like Tom Starling or Tavanga. So I think hooker is kind of a dead spot. Front row forward, they're not even musts, but maybe like a Max King. Okay, we'll talk about genuine musts. So I think, look, no one's a must really, but in terms of very, very good options, Ruben Garrick, Joey Manu, I think top 2 in your centre wing for sure. Taylor May, Isaac Targo, these are probably guys that you already have in your team. So them two, so that's already 4 centre wings that we're thinking of. Again, 5'8", there's not a lot there, like SJ, but I don't like it. I might be missing people. Let me have a look at, let me look at round 12. Sorry, I'm answering this question not very well. Drinkwater could be there, maybe a Hammer. A lot of people might buy the Hammer this week because he's cheap. So if they do well, that could hurt you. So guys like, again, these are not musts, but these are guys who I think can do well this week that we should think about. So if Fafita is not named for Origin, then obviously Fafita has to come into consideration. Drinkwater and Hammer, those are my early thoughts looking at that game. For Penrith, I know Kickout did poor this week, but he is a guy who has shown to be pretty consistent so far this season. So I think Kickout is definitely right up there. Taylor May, Isaac Targo. Who else are we thinking of? That's probably it from the Panthers, to be honest, actually, for round 13 coverage, because the likes of Cleary and stuff are obviously going to be gone. For Bulldogs, not really much there. Maybe Max King, maybe a Burton. Burton's actually done pretty well the last couple of weeks. But again, not much there. Karaz, probably a lot of people have got there as well. Manly, quite a few options. So we already mentioned Garrick. Tui Pelotu's good. Obviously, you're going to play Kula this week as well. Olaquatu, I think, is a very good option. Scored very well this week. So I think second row forward, the likes of Angus and Olaquatu and Kikau, probably your top 3, I think, for this particular week. And then on the Warriors side, maybe Tohu, although he, again, has a bit of a question mark now, so I'm not as confident with him. And Valea, if you've got him, but I wouldn't be buying Valea. So again, not too many options, I think, from the Warriors. And Aiken, sorry, and you and Aiken. I don't mind Aiken, actually, as a buy. Then you're looking at Canberra-Sydney. So from Canberra, really, I don't think there's much from Canberra. Maybe a Tapine. Someone has to think about selling Haas. If you want, maybe a Joseph Tapine. Or Taupne, sorry, how will you pronounce it? Maybe him. And then the Roosters, there's quite a few options. So I think Suwali, if he's cut from the squad and gets to play round 13, good option. Manu is going to be an excellent option, I think. And Manu's just going to be a good option because during the Origin period, Tedesco is probably going to get a bit of a rest. Manu goes to fullback where he does very well. So I don't mind going with Manu and just keeping him for the rest of the season as well. Luke Keary's, Sam Walker have looked better. Maybe they're options that you can think about. If you are, say, for example, I don't know what Sam Walker's price is, but if you're selling Taff and you got the money, maybe a Sam Walker. The problem is that draw is still relatively tough, but the Roosters are looking better. So that's something to think about as well. And then in the forwards for the Roosters, so the likes of an Angus, I think, is going to be one of the most bought players this week. Nat Butcher, obviously going to be popular. Maybe Takiaho, but I don't love that. Maybe Connor Watson for the duel. But again, I feel like those are guys that you might want to trade in, trade out. Someone like Crichton, you can probably lock in for the rest of the season. All right, that's probably going to be it. I think we're up to about 48 minutes, so a little bit longer than I thought. Need to pack. I'm going away tomorrow for work. So yeah, in terms of anyone who's missed it, the schedule won't be any live stream on Tuesday. I'm probably gonna have to record a video on Wednesday and release that. Otherwise, I might do a live stream on Wednesday evening. But no, I won't be able to do anything on Teamless Tuesday because I won't be at home. So yeah, hopefully Wednesday I can put something out for you guys. But yeah, we're going to end the stream there. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. Let me know in the comments if you're watching afterwards or just now if you enjoy this format. I didn't mind going through just like taking questions, going through different topics. No need to have to go through game by games. And then we can kind of be a bit more chilled out in that sense. But yeah, probably going to end the stream there. Thanks everyone for tuning in. At least the stream didn't play up too much this time, which is good. But yeah, going to end it there. Hopefully you all had a good SuperCoach weekend and a good real life weekend. And I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.